harmonica master Peter Mad Cat Ruth. That is one of 15 tracks that can be found on the Pocket Full of Soul movie soundtrack. 15 tracks, and each one of it is equally entertaining, and it just shows the diversity of how the little simple pocket rocket can bring so much joy into people's lives. Pocket Full of Soul, one of 15 tracks, and we have the pleasure of welcoming back a couple of folks to the program today. Director Marc Lempert and producer Todd Slobin of the harmonica documentary movie Pocket Full of Soul. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Hound the Blues, guys.
Hey, thanks, Blues Hound. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Blues Hound.
How are y'all doing?
Great.
I need to ask you first, Mark. I know you had some health issues since this movie originally debuted. How are you doing with your health?
I'm doing great. Went through a bunch of stuff, but came through on the other side with flying colors and ready to get moving on whatever's next.
Good deal. Renewed effort on this, trying to promote this wonderful harmonica documentary. A harmonica documentary that's being narrated by Huey Lewis. This first screened roughly 2 years ago, gentlemen, first released?
Yeah, we did a screening in Houston at Discovery Green about 2 years ago, but that was just kind of call it a rough draft. It was about an abridged version, about 45 minutes long. This is the full version. It's 83 minutes, and it is, if you've seen it before, you haven't seen anything
You only
yet.
saw half of it.
Yeah, you only saw half of it. It's extremely
we go more in depth into a lot of the things that we were touching on.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back and maybe introduce some of our listeners out there that have never heard of Pocket Full of Soul movie, and what was the inspiration behind this? How did it all come together?
Pretty interesting. We first were basically doing some research on a story that involved the harmonica on a peripheral level, and we just didn't feel like we knew enough about the instrument to write about it and really create the project that we wanted to. So we ended up going to a convention in Dallas, Texas for harmonica players. It was put together by SPA, the Society for the Preservation and Advancement of the Harmonica.
Okay.
And we hit the ground with a basic plan of asking about 4 or 5 questions, and getting the information that we were specifically asked after. But by the end of the convention, we ended up with 40 hours of people dropping these names of people that we were actually interested in. The names that were being dropped, the passion that these people were talking about, in regards to their relationship with the harmonica, and it just became something that it was such a human story that we felt like we should track some of these players and really get to the bottom of why this instrument is connected to the players so intimately.
Well, it's a very unique instrument in the aspect that anybody can pick up a harmonica and within a period of a day or so can noodle out, Yankee Doodle Dandy or Happy Birthday or some kind of song. But one of the most difficult instruments to master as far as the technique, style, tone, the soul and emotion. I mean, people go for years and years and don't even get a handle on it. Some people pick it up and just take it to whole different planes. A little bit earlier, before we were playing a brand new CD from the, what was the name of the band? The J. Willie Blues Band, and featured Mr. Jason Ricci, who we've had on the show, and he's prominently featured in the movie. One of the guys that has taken the simple harmonica and just elevated us, like this is savant territory that you're going to, Jason.
He does amazing things with the instrument. I've never heard the sounds that he gets out of it anywhere else. He's a master on the thing. I would venture into virtuosity level, range.
Now, Todd, how did the two of you two meet to?
I think Mark and we've known each other since we were about 12.
Okay, this has been a long-going relationship. Okay, all right. And then
I know more things about Mark than you don't.
That's a whole different edition of Hound the Blues, right?
Another show.
So you realize both of y'all had complementary talents that y'all could actually bring a project like this to fruition. Then,
yeah, I think that we can bring the best out of each other. And we've worked well with each other through the project. We've had our ups and downs. I mean, it's been the world of the harmonica is difficult, to say the least, and it's one of those instruments that doesn't always get the respect that it deserves. I mean, it's sold in toy stores, and so we feel that that's kind of transpired over to this project at some level. But we've powered through, and have a great project.
You certainly do. I can testify that from the 45-minute clip that I've seen, which was screened at Discovery Green that night. I could tell everybody that if you have any interest at all in being the art of playing harmonica and some of the musicians that are behind it, I mean, this really crosses all genres of music too. We're not just talking about blues, although blues is prominently featured in the documentary. Harmonica is in many, many styles, from classical music down to bluegrass, to blues, to country, to rock and roll. It's
everywhere.
It's the mastery of the technique and the different tones.
You would be hard pressed to find a genre of music that it doesn't show up in. I mean, we have a hip hop artist, a couple of hip hop artists in the film playing it in different.
Now, Todd had mentioned this to me. This particular artist was a Canadian artist, a black artist. Yeah. That you had discovered, I guess, on YouTube, and was not in the original 45-minute version, and has since passed away, I understand.
Yeah, it was a tragic event. I think he was actually murdered.
Now, tell me how this particular artist is another example of how the harmonica is pushing the limits of different genres.
Well, you look at somebody like Howard Levy, and he's a gentleman who has created new ways to play the instrument by achieving notes that don't really exist on it. And he plays with different groups in the jazz realm, per se. But what he's doing is really pushing the bounds of that genre as well. I mean, there's nothing to really contain the instrument in any genre that it ends up in. It ends up the primary instrument. It ends
personal creativity.
Yeah, I mean, it can be the primary instrument. It can be support. It's just so present through all music, and I think that's one of the things that kept us into the project too. I mean, we were learning things about it every step of the way.
But this particular artist we're speaking of is in the rap genre.
Oh, yeah,
and you don't usually associate harmonica and rap music, and so that's kind of a cross cultural, stylistic. When you incorporate a harmonica into a rap, it's like, wait a second, that it doesn't fit there, but it's working. I mean, it's.
Yeah, this guy's name is Bad News Brown, and we saw him. We're like, that is just amazing, the way that he was using the harmonica with rap or hip hop. And we're like, we need to talk to this guy. And we were saddened to learn that he was no longer around, but we were fortunate to get some footage of him and some interviews that had never aired, and incorporated those into the film. But that's the whole point of when you go and watch this film, and if you don't know a lot about the harmonica, you're going to learn, and like Marc talked about, it's in so many cultures. It's in so many different musical styles. We talk about, we went to Taiwan, and the harmonica is one of the most popular instruments over there. If you're not learning, if you don't have the money to learn how to play the piano or the violin, you're getting the harmonica. And it's that instrument of poverty which crosses all bounds. I mean, there's poor people everywhere, and they're looking to get out that creativity. And the harmonica is a great way to make that happen.
And folks, for example, like Gary Allegretto, who has he's become an ambassador using harmonica to lift folks up.
Oh, yeah. Gary Allegretto...
his Harmonica Kids Project, more specifically.
Sure. He established a nonprofit called Harmonica Kids, and what he does is he takes harmonicas to children who are affected by natural disasters or are, downtrodden or need a little support from external sources in whatever community they may end up in. But I went with him to Haiti about 6 months after the earthquake in 2010, and funny enough, the 1,000 harmonicas that we passed out to about, I think it was 8 orphanages that we visited. Funny enough, that week, the harmonicas was the only aid actually getting out to anybody. It was such a weird gridlock with the way that the aid was being divvied out, and nothing was moving except for our harmonicas. It was kind of cool.
But help distract some kids from a very dismal situation.
Yeah, the joy on the children's faces when they first get sound out of these instruments, they lighten up.
That's priceless in and of itself.
It's a gorgeous thing.
Marc Lempert, director, and Todd Slobin, the producer of the harmonica documentary Pocket Full of Soul movie, released about 2 years ago. They're going to have a special one-night screening of the movie, once again, nationwide. This is a very unique project. I'd like you to share our listeners how did y'all get this harmonica documentary movie in so many movie theaters nationwide simultaneous on one given day?
Well, if there's a definition for independent film, we're it.
Yes, indeed.
You know, it's not easy. You learn a lot about things in the world, and it's not easy to get, you know, things out, music out, films out. And we found a resource to get our film out to theaters. And the great thing about our project and the community that surrounds the harmonica and blues communities is there are a lot of people who really want, you know, they want to see this, they want to be a part of this. And because there's such a strong grassroots network, we've been able to, well, we've had people all around the country request to see the film. And so we've got screenings, you know, in New York and L.A. and Houston, Denver, Seattle, Austin. But we also have screenings in other places, such as Cherry Hill, New Jersey, potentially, Hooksett, New England, other places where people have requested it. Now, all the screenings won't take place unless a certain number of people actually purchase the tickets in advance of
There's
the
a minimum thing on this.
The minimum thing, that's kind of how it works. But if everything, you know, turns out in the right direction.
So what a great grassroots effort this was from beginning to end.
It's been awesome. Like Houston has been so supportive of us, and we're definitely having a screening here. But certain places like Seattle and Austin sold out in a week, you know, and it was kind of amazing how committed people were to wanting to see this film. And it's
word of mouth and social networking.
You know, I get emails from mad people in New Zealand and Taiwan and
like angry New Zealanders.
They're yeah,
it's true. We've gotten some really venomous messages over the years.
Please bring the film to New Zealand and Canada and all those things. And we're trying to make all those places happy with the harmonica. And hopefully one day we'll get over to New Zealand and
we'll get it there.
Well, I'm sure there's some folks out there listening right now that say, well, gee, Blues Hound, how can I experience this pocket full of soul phenomenon that's going around the country?
Well, we are going to be screening it at the River Oaks, and it should be a really cool night. You know, it's going to there's going to be musicians around. There's going to be, you know, people in the seats. It's going to be a rocking evening at the River Oaks Theater.
I know you've been working closely with the Houston Blues Society as well. The fine folks over there helping get the word out. But for those folks who do not know, this is going to be a special one-night screening here in Houston, Texas, Thursday, February 28th. The film will roll promptly at 7:30. And this is going to be at the Landmarks River Oak Theater located at 2009 West Gray. Once again, special one-night screening, exclusive screening, Thursday, February 28th at 7:30 at the Landmark River Oaks Theater located at 2009 West Gray. But now I understand if you come a little bit early, there's also some pre-activities going on.
Yeah, you've got Sonny Boy Terry's going to be there around 6:45, 7. It's going to start off the vibe that we're looking for. He's going to have a little guitar player outside and really introduce people to the screening. Then we're going to show the film, and then there'll be a Q&A with the two of us, and anyone who's got any questions. And if you have any other, if you have any, if you want to find out more about the film, just Google pocketfulofsoulmovie.com, and you'll find it.
Now the Q&A will take place following the screening at the theater.
Yeah, we're going to do a short Q&A, and then after that, there's a blues jam with the Houston Blues Society over at the Big Easy. So it's going to be
the monthly blues jam. That's right.
Full night of harmonica and blues.
Oh, that's right. So, folks, mark your calendar. Once again, Thursday, February 28th, 7:30, special screening of the harmonica documentary Pocket Full of Soul, narrated by the great Huey Lewis at the Landmarks River Oak Theater, 2009 West Gray. Now, we should purchase our tickets online. That'd be advisable, right? Because seating is limited, and there's been quite a few tickets already sold, if I understand this right.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah,
don't be left out in the cold.
Yeah, don't get left out in the cold. If you want to go see the show, definitely get tickets before. You have to get them online, and I think you can get them up to 4 hours before the show, but I wouldn't wait that long. It looks like we're going to have a pretty solid turnout.
Be a capacity crowd there.
Yeah.
And once again, to purchase your tickets, the best place to do that would be through?
I'd say go to our website, www.pocketfulofsoulmovie.com. There's a banner there that'll take you to where you need to buy your tickets.
Pocketfulofsoulmovie.com. Make sure you put that movie at the Pocket Full of Soul. Now, tell us a little bit more about the this extended version, the original release was a 45-minute documentary. You've now upped this up to 83 total minutes footage I've never seen yet, so I'm really interested at some of the additional artists that y'all have managed to, the footage you've included into this. Can you give us a sneak peek of some of the additional artists that you've added?
Well, we got the Man in Black in. Johnny Cash is doing a piece in there now. We let some of the players talk a little bit more about things like tone, and we get into the emotional impact and the connection that the players have a little bit more than we did in the past. And I think what you'll notice is that there's just a lot more music in this version too. We let the performances go a little bit longer, and we just kind of let the movie revel in the celebration of the harmonica a little bit more.
The more you involved in the project, the more people talk to you about it, the more artists that you discover, more people, more input. Is there any possibility of maybe a Pocket Full of Soul Part 2? And if so, is there anything that you would like to include in the second edition of the screening?
I could see that happening. I think that there's a lot of players out there that we haven't been able to sit down with and discuss. There's a whole level of artists that we weren't able to get to either due to scheduling conflicts or they just didn't understand that we were serious about doing the project. I mean, we'd still love to sit down with Neil Young, we still want to talk to Bob Dylan. So I think that there's
that'd be a coup. That would be a coup.
So I think that there is the possibility for either a 5, 10, 15, 20 year, anniversary edition where we add stuff, or we just do a whole Pocket Full of Soul 2, the harmonica documentary, keep blowing and drawing, But I think there's a great possibility for that happening somewhere down the road.
But right now you have to settle for the new expanded 85-minute version of Pocket Full of Soul. Now, this is available in a CD version. It is also there's a DVD which is in the reeds. Is that correct?
Yeah, we put together a collection of outtakes and more opportunity for the artists to complete their thoughts on a DVD collection called In the Reeds, which basically gets a little deeper into what the players are waxing poetic about. Right. And it's a beautiful collection. The first one we put out, we have Volume 1 out right now. We're working on a Volume 2. Volume 1 has about 2 hours of footage, great music, great montages, great interviews, just a lot of stuff that wasn't able to be included in the film.
Yes. Now, I guess I really haven't spoken to either one of you gentlemen in any detail since you all attempted to set a Guinness World Record at Minute Maid Park a while back.
Heartbreaking.
Tell me about that whole experience, because it was a gallant undertaking. Was the original record set in Hong Kong?
Well, it's batted around a couple, in the past couple of years from Germany to Hong Kong, and for our particular night, things were going really well.
Until the extra innings.
Yeah, we were at the Houston Astros-Dodgers game, and they went into extra innings.
Well, first I heard that it was the longest ninth inning in Houston Astros history. So,
a real stretch.
So right off the bat, in regulation time, we're up against the wall. So
yeah, we were down there.
Pun intended. We worked that in there. That was good.
We were down on the field at around the seventh inning, getting ready with all of our players down there, and the game just would not end. And I mean, honestly,
I think a lot of Astro fans feel that way sometimes.
It was so sad. We're sitting there watching. They brought us down to the backstop, so we'd be ready for when the game ends. We'd go out in the field and take care of this. But we were standing there for 3 innings, and we're watching all these people get up and start leaving. There was mass migrations, and it was a
hope everybody's going to the bathroom.
It was a triple giveaway night, so everyone was wandering around with bobbleheads and harmonicas, and everyone had arms full of stuff, and they were just
swag
leaving.
Night.
It's like, we're like, take the bobbleheads, leave the harmonicas, please. But it didn't work out that way.
So the game went on, and by the time we did the world record event, we just did not have enough people. We came out about 1,000 shy, and I know that
so close. Yeah,
had that game ended on time, Houston would have the record.
So. Yeah, would have easily shattered that record by several thousand.
Yeah, we would have shattered it.
Yeah, but it was great fun, but heartbreaking at the same time, and we hope to do it again.
Well, maybe a part 2 for that effort as well.
I think for sure. We'll try that one again.
All right. I'd like to thank our special guest today, Marc Lempert, Todd Slobin, director and producer respectively of the harmonica documentary Pocket Full of Soul, for stopping in the studio today. today. Just to reiterate, there's going to be a special one-night screening here in Houston on Thursday, February 28th, 7:30 sharp at the Landmarks River Oak Theater located at 2009 West Gray. If you haven't seen this movie, you really do owe it to yourself because it is really an insight into the mind of some of the most talented people in that have ever put that little pocket rocket, that Mississippi saxophone, into their pockets. You think it's an easy instrument, but as someone who's has taken classes myself and tried to master that little bitty instrument with those reeds, it can be so frustrating because you hear, like, why can't I play like Jason Ricci? Why don't I have the soul of a Kim Wilson? John Popper, it seems so easy when John Popper does it. Why can't I do it? Sugar Blue makes it look so easy.
As John Popper says, you can't really see what anybody else is doing, so you just kind of got to make it up.
Well, that's true. Like a guitar player, you can actually see a guitar player where he's fingering the frets and everything, but you can't see what's going on inside the mouth of a harp player, how he's tongue blocking, the different techniques that are involved in a very unique instrument itself.
Right. I mean, no two players play alike, so it's just a matter of kind of finding your way and figuring out what works. And you can be shown and taught various items of technique, but after a while, you just kind of have to absorb what you can and go for it.
But you're only limited by your imagination when it comes down to it. Isn't all art is?
That is
all art is. Todd, Mark, thank y'all once again for. Is there anything that that maybe we failed to cover in the interview that you'd like to mention, or just then shout out to the folks out there listening? Let them know about this because this is really a wonderful documentary. I think everybody should get out and see if at all possible.
Thanks, Blues Hound. No, I mean, I would love to just say thanks to the general, blues and music community out there at large. I mean, they're the ones that this is for, and we just hope that they actually get a chance to see it.
All right. And I'd like to say thanks to Houston. You guys have been very supportive of us, and hope to see you.
I'd like to also thank my mother, and I'd also like to say, keep breathing music, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see y'all on Thursday, February 28th, Landmark River Oak Theater for another screening of Pocketful of Soul, the movie. Thanks, guys. Do appreciate it.
Thanks, Blue Sound.
But before we go, I think we should really open up the phone lines and treat some of our listeners to some maybe a couple of free passes. What do y'all say about that? Does that sound good?
I think that's a great idea.
So how many should we give away, guys?
Oh, 4.
4 tickets, 2 pairs? You want to pair them up like that?
Or how about 4 singles? Would that be weird?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Connie said that'd be weird. Hey, Mama talks. That's it. I'd say 2 pair of tickets, guys. So let's open to the phone lines. Let's take callers number 7 and 8, and you have to know what you're winning. So just tell us Pocketful of Soul, the movie. The number to call.